don't like saying I told you so, but last week I said that Ymir and Krista kind of had some type of connection with the Titans. Little did I know that Ymir actually had the ability to become a Titan herself, but I'll get into that at the end. But this also contained probably one of the most beastly scenes in season 2 of Attack on Titan with Reiner, the Titan bind on his arm. Now, the way that was handled, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Tashigi, what happened with her and Monet back on Punk Hazard in One Piece, because it's exactly the same thing. You have Monet munching on the shoulder of Tashigi, and she had to position herself to the right stance where she could hold her opponent and not lose her shoulder. Otherwise, her shoulder would have been separated from her body. It's kind of the same thing here with Reiner and the Titan, but in this case, he pretty much he picks up the Titan and says, "Screw this!" He walked up the flight of stairs, and then he was about to throw himself and the Titan out the window. In comes Connie with a knife, pretty much a butter knife. It may as well have been trying to cut the jaw off so he can separate, free his arm from the jaw of the Titan. So it works, and then in comes Ymir with a kick, kicking literally the Titan out the window. So I thought that would have been the most badass scene of the episode if it wasn't for the end. But I'll get into that in a minute. But it seems like there's a lot more going on than just meets the eye, and it doesn't. And the fact that Krista actually, out of the blue, brought up the whole subject about the wall rose and how if it wasn't broken after all, and how the Titans managed to break through. I thought that was kind of suspicious given the fact what we heard last week, that the priest said Krista knows something, or maybe even Ymir knows something about why the wall rose is made out of Titan skin. I hope we get some kind of explanation in the flashback, because that's pretty much what we got coming up in the next episode. But other than that, this episode a lot of people were looking forward to, because it's an action-based, authentic episode of Attack on Titan. That being said, though, what makes it even more amazing is the fact that 3 main characters weren't involved in this episode. I believe for the first time since season 2 started. Eren, Mikasa, and Armin. We know they're on the way, and I'm not too sure if they're going to make it in time to save Ymir. Because here's the thing: she might be able to hold off the group of Titans. I don't think she can handle the Beast Titan, just because we've seen the Beast Titan dissolve a Titan before. It literally dissolves in his hand, so I don't know if Ymir can handle that in Titan form or not. So right from the get-go, we find out that 3 hours before, we get to find out what happened with the groups led by Nanabe and Nanaba and Gelga, the dude who brought the alcohol into the episode and had perhaps one of the saddest scenes of the entire episode, not gonna lie. And then actually Ymir asks Connie about his village and what happened. He explains that the village was just it was wrecked, but nobody seemed to have been killed off because there weren't traces of blood. Again, I think there's something more to that than just meets the eye, especially since the fact that Titan was literally stuck in Connie's house, and he said it in this episode as well. It reminded him of his mother a little bit, and then Reiner cuts him off and says, "You're still talking about that?" And it's obviously trying to ease his mind a little bit by trying to change the subject. And then you got Ymir actually treating this like a joke, but she did it on purpose. I still thought that was kind of weird she did that, but certain hints, very few hints about Ymir. There's more than meets the eye. We see her looking for food, and she finds a tin of canned food, and apparently has a different language written on it, but nobody else could read it except her. So I'm assuming that's like Titan language that only she knows. It's obvious by the end of the episode, but I thought that was kind of weird, and that's kind of where we got to see. And I just got to say, we see the cadets actually putting in the work, taking care of a few Titans. Like I said, this is action-based episode. The cadets putting in the work, but things changed when the Beast Titan, I guess, started throwing some horses around, because the horses got dismantled, and then one of them actually hit some of the cadets, and it was an instant kill after that. We literally had Reiner go off on his own to open the door, and literally right there was a Titan. So it's like, okay. But I gotta say, Reiner was pretty much the MVP of this episode. He could have died at that moment if it hadn't been for Berthold. we come to see a flashback of it, Reiner being saved by somebody. We don't get to find out who that was. I'm assuming since he survived, we're going to find out soon enough. But I thought we saw that flashback with him being saved, and I thought it was ironic because he ended up saving Connie's life, because we see another Titan appear behind. A beastly scene in this episode where we see Connie, Krista, and Ymir literally find a cannon, and I thought they were going to fire the cannon at one of the Titans, but it's like no, they just shot the cannon and it ended up crushing the Titans. So that was beastly. So another Titan appeared from literally out of nowhere, and it almost got Connie, but then that's where Reiner stepped in, almost sacrificed his shoulder. So I thought that was kind of unique, because we've got some more character development on his side. Like I said, he could have died at that point, but the fact that he did it, I'm assuming we're going to find out who actually managed to save his life and why he's so intent on getting back to his village. In comes the saddest part of the episode, in my opinion, and that's pretty much where we see Nanaba and Gelga. They're trying to hold off the Titans, but they're running out of steam in the ODM gear, and it's like, okay, one of the Gelga's blades are like pretty much smashed up, and Nanaba's blades are pretty much blunt, but she's got almost zero gas left in the ODM tank. It's obviously he's been hit by I guess one of the horses, about one of the collisions, because his head started bleeding, and that's pretty much where all things fall apart. We see Gelga we see Nanaba trying to save his life, because she goes in for the attack, but she's run out of gas, and that's where she's surrounded by a group load of Titans. It's a terrifying scene, obviously. And then here's the saddest part of the episode, because we see Gelga. He literally introduces a drink as a gag at the beginning, but then he sees the bottle. He tries to drink it before he dies, and right when he's about to drink it, there's a Titan appearing right behind him outside the window. You know what's going to happen, and then you find out the bottle's literally empty, because Krista used the alcohol to actually treat Reiner's broken arm. Krista at that point was literally going to sacrifice her own life to try and, because she was going to chuck a pebble at the Titans. I don't think that would have worked, but that was her mentality. And then you had Ymir saying, "No, don't do that. You're just going to get yourself killed." And she said, "You want to die because you want to be a hero." But it's not the same thing for everybody else. So it's like, okay. So it's obvious that Ymir has got something in mind, because she asked Connie, "Hey, can I borrow your knife a little bit?" At first I thought she was serious, like she's going to go up against the group, these Titans, with nothing but a butter knife. But no, she used that knife to stab herself, goes into Titan form. I did not see that coming. And by the way, we've seen Eren bite himself to become a Titan. I don't think we've seen somebody use a knife to become a Titan, so that was kind of hardcore. But all in all, I enjoyed this episode. I did not expect that ending at all. I thought she had some connection with the Titans. Didn't think she'd be a Titan herself, but I guess can she hold her own against the group of Titans? More importantly, if the Beast Titan steps up, that's pretty much going to be the end for her. And we're going to get a flashback, so I assume we're going to find out, hopefully, what she knows about, if she knows anything about the wall, what it is. So hopefully we'll find that out. That's it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this review if you did appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Attack on Titan. Comment, rate, subscribe. Catch you guys later. Bye.